name is Carissa Whitney. I have been a LuLaRoe consultant for a little over a year. I started in June of 2015 and have loved just about every minute of it. I'm here right now to share with you guys why I do what I do. To be able to get down to that, let me show you my family. This is my family. A big old picture of my family. I'll be done in just a minute. And they're everywhere all the time. This picture was taken about a month before I found LuLaRoe. I have 4 kids. I've been married to my sweet husband for almost 13 years. Our daughter Sydney is 11. She now is pretty much as tall as me. Then I have Jackson, who is 10. Carter, who is almost 7, and Reese, who just turned 5 and just started kindergarten. Look at that cute little boy. This is my family. And when I look at this picture, I'm a little bit sad. Life looks good in this picture. Life looks like I've got it all. At this point, McKay had finished law school. He was working as an attorney. We had plenty of money. We had 4 beautiful kids. Life was everything we had planned it to be. Everything we'd worked towards, we had. And yet, when I look at this picture, I remember how empty and sad I was. And I remember feeling overwhelmingly guilty for having everything and yet feeling so empty and so sad. I was married really young. I graduated high school in 2003 in June. I met McKay in September of that year. We started dating in December, and we were married by March of the following year. And we had Sydney less than a year after we got married, about 10 months after we got married. I worked in my senior year in high school. Instead of doing all the extracurricular activities, I did half-day school, all the classes that I was required to take, and then I got a job at a law firm, and I drove myself to work so that I could pay for the things that I wanted, so that I could have a car, I could pay my car insurance, I could pay for gas, and I could be independent and do the things that I wanted. That was always important to me, was to go where I wanted to go, be what I wanted to be, and I loved being busy. So I worked full time. I graduated high school, started taking college classes, met McKay. I think I always knew I would get married young. I wasn't out searching for a husband at a young age, but I don't know, I just had that feeling I would get married young, and I did. I got married when I was 19. I worked at the law firm still. McKay was in undergrad, and he ended up getting a job at the law firm also, so we got to work there together. It was really cool. So I got pregnant with Sydney. I worked all through my pregnancy. I had Sydney, and I was able to work a deal out with the law firm to work from home after I had her. So I worked from home, and there turned out to be some things that I needed to be in the office for. So I would wake up and go to the office at 4 o'clock in the morning with my baby girl and work from 4 o'clock in the morning until the rest of the normal office staff showed up at about 9. And then I would go home and I would work from home what I could. And it was hard, but I loved it. I loved being busy. I loved contributing. I loved being able to be a stay-at-home mom, working with people, helping people, but also getting to be there for my daughter. I also got to be a wife. I got to help my husband. I got to support him, going to school, working towards his career. I felt like I could do it all. I really did. I felt really good. I remember, so I had Sydney in January, and that December we had a Christmas party for work, and it was fancy. So, we got dressed up, we got a babysitter, we went to the dinner. and they handed out cards to everybody, and of course it was like our little bonus and a little card thanking us for all of our hard work, and it's kind of, you know, the highlight. You feel really special. And so they give us our cards, and McKay opens his, and it's, you know, goes on and on and on about, you know, you've been amazing. We're so excited for you. We're excited for when you go to law school because you're going to make such an amazing attorney. You have such great connections with our clients, and on and on. All these things that are so true. McKay is so, so good with people. He was really good, and he was an awesome fit at the law firm. So, you know, oh, it made us so happy. We read his thing, and then it was my turn, and I'm all excited, you know. And I open it, and here's what it said. Dear Carissa, thank you for introducing us to McKay. That was it. And I remember at that moment, I started to cry. McKay didn't really understand, and I just felt like the hard work that I'd done, and I had felt like I was doing so well, putting my all and doing everything, and I felt like I was not good enough. That all I was good for at that moment was for supporting my husband and for encouraging him and making sure that he was good at what he did. And so I took a step back at that moment. I quit working for the law firm. I decided to work from home. To stay home, to raise my daughter, and to stay there with them. Can you go in? Go in. Go in the house, please. Go in the house, please. Close the door. That's one way to feel better, okay? Anyway, so I did. I stayed home. I raised Sydney. I sent McKay to work. I sent McKay to school. He was gone all hours. He was up early to study. He went to work all day, and he went to school at night. There were days when I had to bring Sydney to the office for lunch just so that he would see her, because he would leave before she woke up in the morning, and he would get home after she went to bed. But I decided to give my all to what I could do, and that was being a mom. I felt like that's where I could truly, that's where I was needed. So I did. I stayed home. I then had Jackson a little over a year later. We moved to Virginia, where McKay went to law school, little town there. We had Carter there. We moved home. And right after McKay finished the bar exam and started working as an attorney, we had Reese. At this point, we had it all, right? We were the happy family. We were the family who had it all together. We had finished undergrad. McKay was 27 and working as an attorney. We had 4 beautiful kids. We went to church. We did all the things we were supposed to do, and yet we struggled. McKay and me, our relationship was not what it should be. We liked each other just fine. I mean, we loved each other, but we weren't on the same page. When he was home, he wasn't really home. I remember you have money, so you do stuff, right? You go on vacations, you do fun things. But McKay was so busy, he didn't have time, and I wasn't going to let that hold me back. So with 4 kids, Reese was 11 months old. He didn't walk yet. He was just a baby. I packed up the minivan with all the kids, and I went on a 1.5-week trip. We drove up to Idaho. We stayed in a hotel. We did it all. We swam. We did everything. And the whole time pulling my hair out thinking, what is this? Why the heck am I doing this? Where is the fun in this? This is not fun. We have the money to do fun things, so we're gonna do them, but this is not fun. I don't want to do this alone. I don't want to be alone doing these things, but that's what it was. So I lost myself. I did. I gave my all to my family like I promised I would, but I lost myself. I was not happy. I was, that's all I can put it. I wasn't happy. I had it all, and yet I felt like I had nothing. Then LuLaRoe came along, and the clothing for me was great. I mean, I love the clothes. The clothes are everything that we all say that they are. I absolutely love LuLaRoe clothing. For me, when I first tried it on, it wasn't this big aha, like I'm amazing, I feel amazing, like it is for some people. It felt good. It was something good, but it was just another thing to spend money on for me. It was you know, just a band-aid, just something cute and pretty and fun. But what really stuck out to me was when I went to my first LuLaRoe party, it was the environment. It was the people. It was the women. It was the people coming out of the dressing room and the whole room lighting up and her, you know, spinning around in her dress and everybody loving each other for who they were and what they were, um, regardless of their size, regardless of, you know, that they had no makeup on and that they had babies pulling on their hair. It didn't matter. That friendship and that love that was in that room, that is what changed me. That is what attracted me to LuLaRoe from the beginning, was that community, that love of women lifting each other up in a world that, dang it, it drags us down. So I went to McKay. I asked him, or maybe I told him, I don't know. I said, "Listen, it's my turn, and I need $5,000, and I'm gonna sell LuLaRoe." And he looked at me like, "Whatever, lady. Yeah, sure. Here's the money. Go do what you're gonna do. Go do what you're gonna do. But as long as you can still do all the things I need you to do, because you know what really matters is that he was able to go to work and provide for our family, because that's what we'd worked towards." So I did. I got to work with that $5,000 and I kept it my little secret. He knew I did LuLaRoe, but I did not talk to him about it. I knew when he came home, he didn't want to hear about the stress that I had of a mean customer. He didn't want to hear about how I had mixed up an order, and he didn't want to hear about this or that. And so I didn't share my successes with him. I didn't share the struggles with him. I kept it all to myself because I knew that he had a lot on his plate. He had a lot on his mind, and that this was just my thing. It was my secret little happiness, my time to spend on myself. And I created and found this community of women that made me feel amazing. They made me feel needed. They made me feel beautiful. They made me feel like I had more meaning than I ever had. I got busy and it got to where McKay was coming home and there was no dinner, not only on the table, but there was no food in the fridge because I didn't have time to go grocery shopping. I didn't have time to scrub the toilets. I didn't have time. I mean, I was so busy. I would like rush home to get home when he would get home, you know, with the kids and pretend like everything was all good, but he could tell something was up, that things were not getting done. And he would tell me, "You know what, this is just a hobby for you. Your hobby can't take over, you know, me being an attorney." And he, you know, made sure I knew that. And so I sat down with him and I said, "Okay, well, here's the deal, hon. Here's my papers. Here's my open book. Here's what I've been doing. Here's how much I've made. Here's this and this." And he kind of looked at it. And I don't think he believed me at first. And so he said, "Okay, so you've done this and this. You have this much inventory. You have this much money in the bank. What the heck? Like, you're earning more money selling these clothes than I do being an attorney," which we worked towards for our whole marriage. And he said something I never thought he'd say. And he said, "So if I quit and I come work with you, can you do more?" And I said, "Yeah." So he did. He quit his job. I started in June of 2015. By November, he started winding down his law practice. And by January 1st of this year, he quit working attorney and is here full time with me. I am happy. I still have my amazing kids. I still get to be home with them. But now I am able to serve others other than just me. I'm not worried about me. I'm not worried about my money. I'm not worried about my family and what we're doing. I'm able to spend my time helping other women and helping other families and helping other relationships. McKay and I are close. People ask all the time, "Do you ever get tired of working together?" And I laugh because we'll be sitting in the same room and we know when we can, you know, handle each other, like we're in the same room. And then there's times when we're in our own worlds and we can read each other. I feel like we have this connection. We have a closeness that we've never had before. We know when we need a break. We know when I need to go take a nap. He'll let me know right away. "It's your nap time. You go take a nap." I know when he needs to go take a drive. We're close. Our family is happy. Our kids are thriving. Our business is amazing, and I have a team of women that I get to call my family. I have watched I've watched families blossom and grow. I've watched relationships, I've watched women come in with that emptiness that I used to have, and I've watched them find their happiness and find their meaning and become better moms and better women by serving others. I That's me, that's my why. My why now, it used to be for me. It used to be because I needed it. I needed happiness, and now my why is to give that happiness to other women who have given up their everything for everyone else, and now it's their turn to give back and do something for themselves. That's my why. Uh, LuLaRoe has changed me forever, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.